Hello everybody, welcome to Cork in the North podcast. Thanks to everybody that's joining us this week. Before we crack on, we need to let you know that this podcast is sponsored by the Dye-In Pub and has been sponsored by them for quite some time. They're doing a great job down on the Lisburn Road, serving drinks, giving people food, clean toilets, access to the parking, lots of different places to sit, different things, loads of different things you can do down there. You can eat, you can drink, you can connect to the Wi-Fi, you can watch sport, you can go on a date, you can bring the family out. You can also get 25% off your food if you use the code CORK25 from Wednesday to Saturday. We were down there recently doing new material. Great place. Lots of people down there eating. It seems to be a place that's really, really good for live comedy, really good for sport, and really good for a night out if you're looking for something a bit different on the Lisburn Road. The Dye-In Pub, Cork 25, 25% off your food. Thanks to everybody that listens to the podcast, downloads it, subscribes, comes along to a show, buys a ticket, watches a clip, blah, blah, blah. You are all really appreciated. Links below for everything. Don't forget to come on my tour, andrewryancomedy.com. Bye. Gary Pollock is joining me in Cork in the North this week, his second appearance on the podcast. As last time he was on, we were in the old studio, and now we've got Gary back. Gary obviously is a stand-up comedian. He also promotes comedy in the North Coast on Portrush Kiwis Comedy Club and down in Bangor at the Grand Social. And it's good to see you, Gary. We bump into each other every so often when we're doing gigs in small towns, or we ever go somewhere different.
We do, yes.
But it's good to have you back, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. I appreciate that.
You keeping well?
Keeping good, yeah.
Your comedy club, Kiwis, is getting a reputation as being one of the best around.
It is, yes.
Very happy.
I'm very happy about that.
A lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work, a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't see. But again, you'll know about this. It's just be consistent, just every single month.
Consistent.
Just keep turning up. You've in your time, I'm sure, seen many a gig start and they have 3 shows and then it just dies in its hole. So it's just been a after COVID kind of just. We couldn't really get established because nothing could get established, but then just every month, just keep going, no matter what, just keep going. Yeah. And we are where we are now, where we're obviously getting big tours up and stuff like that too. And,
you had Victoria, Chris Kent, I'm coming up.
Yeah, we've had Paddy Raff up as well. And the club, the headliners we've been getting are fantastic. So it's self-fulfilling prophecy. The room's growing, the audience is growing. I'm growing as a comedian as well through it because obviously I'm gigging with loads of great acts and that's helped my reputation as well as a comic. Yeah. So all in, it's a brilliant room to kind of carve our craft, and for me it's a perfect, whenever I see the acts up there that I've booked and I see the crowd just smiling every Friday night, it's like just a great feeling, that you're allowing the crowd to have something to do in Portrush and enjoy themselves, and you're allowing the acts a fantastic room to be able to craft their art in,
Yeah, that's great. No, it is good. I was gigging there at the weekend. I was down in Clandyboy. I was in Enniskillen recently, not the weekend, a couple of weeks ago, and that was great. And I found out after the gig that there was a DUP counsellor on the front row, and I was doing some jokes about the DUP.
As you do. And how did that go down?
Apparently loved it. I wasn't doing anything hard.
So you're booked for the court.
It was just a joke.
You're booked for the Christmas do then, are you?
I'll do the DUP Art Fest, yeah. Whatever they're called. What's it called?
I don't know what they definitely wouldn't call it the Ardess.
The Ardess.
What's that?
The Sinn Féin Ardess.
Oh, sorry, you're talking a different language to me now, mate.
That's when the Sinn Féin come together as a political party for like a weekend, don't they? And they do speeches.
Oh, they do like a.
It's like a political party conference, like the way like the Tories have their conference in Manchester.
It's like an AGM sort of thing.
Yeah, they meet up and they go, what are we going to tell the public we're going to do, but we're not actually going to do, but we're going to do it because it's going to sound right so we can get elected. And then when we get into power, we're going to realise, we're not going to do anything like that because politics is now all about flipping, slogans.
Yeah.
Build back better, get Brexit done, build a wall, yes we can. You know what I mean? All that kind of...
just buzzword shit.
It's just buzzwords.
It's marketing.
It's marketing.
Yeah.
We need a slogan. No, you don't. Just have policies.
It was like during COVID, they had the things up on the plaques up on Rishi Sunak's stand. When they did the public announcements and Boris Johnson and all, and it was like, what was it? Stay home or stay safe, stay home or something like that.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And all hazmat suit.
So, Gary, you obviously came onto the radio. You've been on a couple of times into Q. We always like to promote some of the shows, especially that are outside of Belfast, if you know what I mean, because we don't feel maybe they get enough coverage. There's a lot of really good stuff happening outside it. You come across quite confident on the radio, which is kind of interesting because some people come in and they're like really, really amazing on stage, but the minute they go on radio,
they kind of shrivel up.
Like you're very good, very slick.
Yeah, well, that was only my second appearance.
Was it?
You were my first podcast appearance as a guest and my first live radio appearance.
Hey,
so
listen,
I mean,
I'm break whatever else you're a virgin at. Let me know.
Good man. Well, here
I'll sort that for you.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
If you're in a relationship, you've got kids, you're married with kids.
I'm married with kids.
Right, well, I can't fix that one for you.
Yeah, no.
Can't fix that one for you.
No,
I won't.
can't.
I wouldn't want anyway. I'm not.
Not again.
Not again, no.
Not again.
But if there's anything else, yeah, like...
Do you own a home?
Hmm?
Do you own your house?
Own my own home, yeah.
Okay, that can't
You could
fix
pay that off if you want. Like.
No. I'm not paying that off.
You can probably afford to. The corporates you're doing, my God.
All right, Gary.
Settle out.
How do you know I'm doing corporates? Well, I do put them up on Instagram, but that's for other
everything.
people to see that I'm doing corporates, so they'll then may hopefully book me for corporates.
Indeed.
It's all a strategy.
But no, you say about the confidence and stuff, that's something that just, I don't know why, but I just...
Do you feel more confident?
I feel more confident for sure in my own skin. I think you do get a little bit of imposter syndrome whenever like you get yourself in situations like that, whenever you're like, bloody hell, I am on the radio. Do you know, when you sit back and think about it, you just kind of, But when you're doing something that you love, it doesn't seem like, you know, there's a real reason for doing it. It's not like I'm trying to do this because it's a job or because it's, you know, I'm trying to impress somebody. I'm genuinely just doing it because it's me. And I think that's a life journey that I kind of got to where I'm in my kind of nearly in my mid-30s now. I've got a kid, you know, I'm married, I'm settled, but I'm also have these goals that I want to do. But that's one thing, even from school, I was always like confidence. Like,
I find that baffling when you just go like, you know, I'm in my 30s now and I'm settled and I'm married and I've got a kid. And I'm like, oh.
Oh shit, we just had an awakening here,
and
folks.
I've got
Sorry.
like,
Andrew's
producer Sean, you know, he's in his 20s, he's married and has a kid. I'm in my 40s. I've got 3 penalty points.
But here, also, what are you shooting off at the minute?
Golf.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Well, see, the thing is, I played there recently, and I've been playing really well. Like I'm shooting mid-80s, like.
Really?
And I must admit, like I'm getting coached, and I'm doing really well. But I don't have the time, man, because like
it does take a lot of dedication. It's a very frustrating sport, I can imagine.
It is very frustrating, but I probably, if I put my energy into some other areas a little bit, and golf is kind of like I'll get out when I can get out.
But are you the type of person though, like a lot of comedians, like me as well? I'm a quite obsessive personality. Like, do you like get a hobby and then instantly you're hooked on it?
Yeah, like
and you have to have like all the good gear. You have to like practice 5-6 times a week. You have to. You're watching YouTube. You have to like.
Oh, my algorithm on my Instagram is literally just golfers. It's golfers, and also like I have 2 spare rooms at home. One small box room and one bedroom, and we moved Julie's studio.
Definitely unmarried with no kids.
Yeah, Julie moved her studio from the box room into the spare bedroom. We repainted all that, so I've kind of cleared the box room because I want to put in a flight simulator.
I've heard about this. Are you as airplane pilot, EasyJet,
so
Andrew, the next thing?
Yeah, so I want to do it. I've researched it. It's expensive, but I wanted to change over this box room to get it ready for the delivery of the.
And it'll pay itself. Like a pilot's wage is fairly good.
Yeah, but I'm not a pilot. Like I'm a guy that's going to be just crashing planes like on a computer.
No, but so what's the goal? Do you just want to get a really good bedroom?
I want to get a room and a couple of monitors, a couple of screens, a good pilot's chair, all the gear, and I want to just sign in and like take off and land.
So you basically just want to be like the
have
adult
pedals and everything.
You want to be the adult, Mr. Ben.
Yeah, but I don't want to. But then when I hear of people like you, then like, oh, you know, I'm in my 30s now and I'm settled. I've got a kid, and I'm like, going, here's me researching airplane simulators.
But no, you think like, well, what does that?
I don't know where did it go wrong,
or
maybe I'm right. Maybe you're wrong.
But then I look at you and I'm like, this lucky bastard. You know, like that gets.
I don't want your life, Gary. You know, I do not want your life.
I say a statement that goes, this guy sounds like he's got his shit together, and it's like, absolutely don't. Yeah. You know, I'm sitting here and like you see, like, you know, you can fly away on the weekend and do a gig in London and that. I have to pre-book that 6 months prior. You know, there's a form you have to fill in.
Hey, but if I was married and had kids and I had to go away to go to London to do gigs, my Julie's grand. She's totally cool with all that kind of stuff. She gets it.
See, that's the problem though. You started as a comedian. You started going out. She knew you as a comedian.
Oh, I said, this is what you're signing up to.
I started doing stand-up.
You're signing up to an absent boyfriend.
Dickhead here started doing stand-up 2 months before we got married. And
what was her reaction to that?
This is the next thing. You know, I've had the fighting. I've had these phases, I suppose, where I get obsessed with something. So like,
because you were a former MMA fighter, aren't you?
Yes. So that was, we were talking about that on the radio this morning. So my old coach Rodney texted in, which was brilliant. So yeah, I used to compete in MMA back in the kind of I probably about 10 years ago now when I was at sort of started it when I was at uni and then continued it on and then got my first real job.
So you came out of uni, you just straight into fighting. You're
Well,
from
no,
Ballymena,
it was
so that's
training.
a natural progression.
Natural progression. You have to be handy, like, you know.
Do you have to be handy in Ballymena? I'd say it's a bit of a few digs knocking around there, is there?
A few digs knocking around, a few fair digs.
I couldn't get a venue there in Matorial.
I
I don't think they wanted me.
No, you would have.
I don't think they wanted me.
Where do you play when you go to Ballymena?
I see, that's the thing. People ask me all the time now since I've kind of, you know, people have gradually started knowing to do stand up. They're like, and obviously because Kiwis is now so successful, they're like, when are you bringing a night back to Ballymena? And like Paddy runs the Braid, as you know, that's where we first met. It's like a big town hall though, so it's like it's not for everybody. So like, there's not really a venue in the town that is perfect for it. So, as I say, that's where we're doing our solo show on Friday. Here is in the studio room, just a nice room, takes like 70 people. But like, there's nowhere it's sold out, so it's great. So there's nowhere really, apart from the Braid, which is one of my favourite rooms to do because it's like when it's packed, it's 400, feels like a theatre. It's just nice. It's just, and because it's my hometown as well, it's always special to do a gig there. And the last couple of times I've done it, I've walked out and people know who I am now. So that you get that instant kind of, that's the first time I've had that kind of, you know, the wave of noise hits you before you even speak.
Yeah.
Which is a weird feeling because I talk about imposter syndrome before you're walking out and, you know, the MC's going, please cheer for Gary Pollock. And then everyone's like, who? Do you know what I mean? But now, like, some people are like, you know, yay, Gary.
Yeah.
I know him.
Yeah.
He sold me a Fiesta. You know, so it's like...
but that's the thing, like, as you get better known, like, people will...
Yeah.
You know, I was up at the hospital there visiting Julie's dad, you know. He was just in for a few days. And then somebody messaged me afterwards, were you in floor level 7 of the Royal Victoria? I just saw you. And I went, why would you message me that?
That's a bit of a
But it's
weird
actually a comic, Noel Brennan, so, like, he's actually dead on. Like, he's dead, so I was
really?
replying to it. But if I didn't know him...
Oh, have you got a comedy doppelganger, have you?
No, he's somebody that works there. Does comedy, but he works there. But I know him. I've worked with him. Like,
do you ever?
But my point is, if it was somebody I didn't know and it was just a randomer, I'd be like, "What the fuck are you messaging me for?"
Aye, that is weird.
Weird,
I'm sure that's weird too. Like, you probably get that on nights out and stuff. I think you've talked about that, where people come up to you and stuff like that. There and do your
I
head
don't
in
mind
and
that.
stuff. You don't mind?
Just don't touch me.
Do people touch you? Do people go for like the handshake or the
a
hug and
woman
stuff?
strangled me there last week.
Serious?
In front of just grabbing me. Oh, my husband likes. And I'm like, just. And if I go, excuse me, can you not grab me? Because if I went up to someone I didn't know and just grabbed them and they were female, what would happen?
You'd probably go to jail.
I don't want to. I know, but it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It is nice. I've had a bit of shit out and about. Like, a few people, think you're funny and all that, and I'm like, why you come up to me for?
I think that's the thing. Once you get a level where you're getting haters, you know you're doing good. Because like, people are like,
I love it.
Who do you think you are? You think you're funny? It's like, you know, people from school are probably like, Pollock, he's the class clown. You think he can go on stage and be funny? Do you know what I mean? But then they come to the Braid, or they don't come to the Braid. Do you know what I mean? That's like, I looked at the ticket list, and it's there's a few old ones there.
Somebody came up to me and they went, "Are you?" And I went, "No."
I
just went, "Are you?" And I went, "No, not me."
Well, the good thing for me is it's easy for me. Like, do you look like what you look like in your 20s, 30s?
Yeah. Well, I get Dougal a lot. Yeah. People come up to me and go, "Do you know who you remind me of?" And I go, "Not a clue." And they go like Dougal from Father Ted, and I'll always kind of go, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
I've never had
that.
Mate,
it is a good
and the one I have as well is people come up and they'll go, "Oh, you got 2 dimples," and then I go, "What?"
Yeah.
I've dimples? No. You serious? I've holes in my face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, it's kind of like meeting a tall person and you go, "Oh my God, you're taller." Like, well, they fucking hear that every day of the week.
Aye, they're just used to it.
So I just pretend like, so imagine if a tall person, you said to a tall person, like, "Oh, you're 7 foot. How tall are you? You're massive." And then they go, "No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm only 5'9".
See, for me, it's like I look totally different to what I looked like in my 20s. I was that guy, like, I had a joke when I first started doing stand-up, which was like, I was the guy in 3rd year that got your car out because I looked like 19. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was buying the 5th years their car out. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, I had a full beard and, you know, at like 15.
It's a hairy family, man.
I'm a hairy family.
And you come from a hairy family?
I think so, yeah.
Is your brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I've got 2 sisters and a brother.
Are they hairy as well?
I mean, all right, Andrew. We're from Ballymena, like, but we're not that backwards. You know what I mean? Like, fuck's sake.
She's a hairy girl. She's a hairy girl from Ballymena now.
That's Bush Mills you're thinking of.
She's fucking hairy.
Yeah.
What are you doing today? Just being a bit hairy. Just shave me back.
Yeah.
Shave me back.
But it was funny whenever you said about, you know, the fighting and stuff like that, where you ripped and stuff whenever you were fighting. And it was like, if I pulled a picture up right now, you would, like, I looked a totally different.
Let's have a look at that. We're going to get producer Sean.
I'll see if I have a picture.
Well, send this to Sean on WhatsApp and Sean will put this up.
I'll see it. I must have an old
YouTube,
profile picture from like 2010.
I can guarantee you now. Imagine now if you. I'd say.
Well, here,
Where did it all go wrong?
Well,
here's one.
Ballymena, Andrew Tate.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a stand-up bit where I was doing the boiler room in Strabane for the first time, and it was great. And I was opening, and it was kind of like first time up in Strabane at all. And it was like, right, come from Ballymena, hardline loyalist area. Strabane, hardline border Republican town, and I was like, I don't really know how they're going to react to my accent and like my banter. Will they get the Ballymena humour and stuff like that? Me and Paddy were talking on the car up about that, and then I went out and then I did a whole improv bit just about I was driving up here and I get to the London signs, or when they start scribbling the signs out of Londonderry at Castle Dawson roundabout, I start fucking driving faster, and then they like that, and then I was like there was a boy radioing on the way in going, there's a boy circling around Charlie's bar here, hasn't a clue where he's going, we count the entering plates on. And then I was like, he looks a bit like that Andrew Tate boy. And the whole crowd just pissed themselves laughing. So
that's a good way of like breaking.
It was, because it kind of broke that barrier where it was like, I am a Protestant, but I'm not threatened by you.
Protestant? Sean, we didn't know.
Have you not listened to
we don't book this. We don't book these people.
Yeah, fuck, sorry. I'll know for
Sean,
sorry.
next time.
It's cross community now. You're getting a fucking grant for this.
I couldn't care less, man. It's the French that I hate.
Well, here's a I'll send you this here, Sean. You can pull it up.
Here, just look at it.
Well, here's a pic. Right, you can zoom in. So Rodney that texted in is
Yeah.
beside me with the bald head.
Let's have a look. Which one are you?
You can guess.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's been my last fight with my belt.
You look absolutely ripped.
Yeah. So that was me at 65 kilo. Well, weighed in at that. I didn't fight at that. So I'm now about 80, I'm now about 87.
Producer Sean, we'll send this to Producer Sean, and he can put that up. That is insane. You are trimmed. You have zero body fat.
Oh, there was nothing on me. Like, there's a bit, and here's me at a grappling event in Derry, and I'm even skinnier.
Gary, where did it go wrong?
Exactly. Well, it went wrong.
Did you meet your partner when you were that ripped?
Yes.
She must be furious.
Oh, she's raging. Well, she signed up for. Well, what I tell you exactly what happened.
She must be like.
I tell you,
that's the body I wanted. Now look what I've got.
I tell you exactly what happened. I started training MMA when I was like 18, 19 at uni, and then stopped when I was 20.
What attracted you to it?
My mate did it, and we just used to fight in his garage.
And you're getting proper hit here, though. Like
no, it's like 6-ounce gloves. You know, it's not 16-ounce gloves like
boxing.
Really
sore.
It's pretty sore. Yeah, I mean, like testosterone and adrenaline gets you through a hell of a lot, like, you know. But it's pretty sore, like. But yeah, it just started off in my mate's garage. We were just obsessed. He started training when it was Rodney's old gym up in Bali, which was literally the size of this studio, and it was just men just beating the shit out of each other. And then obviously it started to become a sport. And then, like, you know, established people started to come through, like, you know, Randy Couture and Tito Ortiz. And then, like, you know, you had your George St. Pierre's. Like, they started making it more mainstream. Then, like, Conor McGregor came through. Like, my mate...
And ruined it.
My mate that we... that started me into it, he fought on the same card as McGregor in Derry, in Chaos. Wow. So, yeah, McGregor...
I've spoken about McGregor on here before. Like, when he actually started, like, I'll be honest with you, like, he was brilliant for a sport. Like.
Oh, it was class. He was unbelievable.
Seems to have gone off the rails.
Cocaine's a wonderful drug. So here.
That's what here. And
you're from Ballymena. You know
all of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Did you watch the Tyson Fury Usyk fight?
I did.
Right. This is my interpretation. Number one, I'm delighted Usyk won.
Yeah, you're not
Secondly,
a Fury fan.
Tyson Fury saying, "Oh, he only won because
of Ukraine." Yeah,
Ukraine. What a horrible comment. What a nasty little thing to say.
Concussion is a wonderful thing. Like they interviewed they should never let anyone near a mic after they've just had 6.
You think so?
Oh my god! Like the amount, like he is literally carrying head trauma right there, and they've just put a mic in front of him in front of millions of people.
So it's like the Joshua one. A couple of
yeah. Remember, he lost his mind and started like just walking around the ring with his. That's why in the UFC. Joe Rogan obviously is the famous MC of and the color commentator for UFC. He has a rule. He never gives up the control of the mic. So if you ever see him interviewing a fighter, and obviously it's just post fight, the fighter will grab it and they'll like maybe get both hands, and Rogan's still there, like holding it. He'll never, because he says if you let them have the mic, game over. They could do anything with it, and that's like his ultimate way of controlling that scenario.
Wow!
Because he's obviously got a background in martial arts.
I paid for the fight and I watched it, and
Fire stick, mate. What an idiot.
What?
I paid for the what service did you use?
TNT or Sky?
I bought it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, you're all right. At least you didn't do DAZN.
Why?
Why?
Because them fuckers.
They trap you into a
they
contract.
They've trapped me into a 12-month contract. Like I tried.
Surely
to
you can cancel it.
You can't. You can't even. I've tried stopping the direct debit in the bank and everything. Still comes out.
Oh my word.
Take them to court.
I might do because surely it's not.
That's not legally
not right.
binding.
And I didn't claim administration costs for the hassle. If you follow their way of cancelling and you follow it and they didn't action it, you then have you can then claim for costs for continuously following this up. So you should send them an email and say, I've cancelled this on 3 occasions or 4 occasions, whatever. As a result of this now, I'm now invoking a £50 administration fee for every email that I'm going to be sending you. Your failure to reply to this email proves that you have agreed with my fee. And I have done that with numerous companies. If I've unsubscribed from their emails, you know, like, because I don't want to get the spam or whatever, and they keep adding me. I had one with a very big company here, right? And they kept on emailing me. I won't name them, but a pizza company, right? And they were kept on sending me like offers of the day and all that. And they were texting me. So I replied with like, stop. And eventually it stopped. And then the email stopped. So I replied to the head office. I said, hiya. Please see below screenshots of me cancelling and unsubscribing, right? I'm still receiving these emails. Here are the emails. Just to inform you, for every email I receive going forward, it's £50 per email. Man, they came back within 5 hours. A person replied, really sorry about that. All
Threatening emails work.
No, because they'll say, oh, we have administration charges. Why can't you have administration charges?
Yeah.
Just because they're
Just
a company with a logo.
Just flip it on them.
Just flip it on them. It's like the one I did years ago. Like there was a guy who had a dog and the dog was barking all the time. So do you know what you do? You go out, you record the dog barking, load it onto your laptop, download it, put it into Spotify, put up 2 speakers in your garden, and then play the dog barking back. And then when the neighbour goes, what's all that? And goes, well, that's your dog, mate. When are you playing your dog back?
Yeah.
No, you don't like it, do you? So what you do is you play. I do that all the time. If somebody doesn't action what you want, just reply to them, say it's £50 administration fee now for every email you send me. I followed your process. It's not my fault that your process of unsubscribing is not working. That's your issue.
I owe Andrew like £500 in administration fees.
All right, mate. But you know what I mean? Like in terms of that.
Yeah.
I love that stuff, man.
Oh, you would have been.
Oh yeah, I get excited.
You would have been a nightmare customer for me. So you asked what stopped you doing fighting. So I got my first job at 20, first proper job post uni.
Yeah.
Well, I worked doing my job that I did my degree in. And I have a famous joke about that, which I did my degree in game design, computer game design.
Oh, brilliant.
I was going to be a game designer. And then I realised I would like having sex with women. So that's
So you got ripped.
That I got ripped and realised that the games industry was a complete cockfest and it wasn't fun to work in. So it's like classic case of you do your GCSEs, you think you want to do something and then you actually work in it and it's shit. So then I needed a job and the local car dealership in my hometown was looking for like a car salesman, and my aunt seen it in like the Ballymena Guardian and was like, says you need good IT skills. I think he's got a degree in that and good communication skills. He can talk to people. So I applied for it, blagged the interview, got the job selling cars at 23, and that stopped my fighting career because one day I came up 6 months in. I was kind of coming up to my probation time.
Yeah.
And I was like, have to impress these guys, you know, it was touch and go at that stage whether I was going to stay and make it a career. It was kind of that. I remember having a conversation with my manager being like, I don't know if this is for you, you know what I mean? And I was like, I don't know either, I'll go home think about it. And I came in one day and I had a massive cut on my head and like a busted lip because I was sparring.
You're customer facing, like.
Well, I was sparring on the Saturday, I had a fight coming up, and then they were like, what happened to you at the weekend? And I was like, I was sparring. And then I remember he just said to me, he was like, I wonder what the customers will think of that. And that put a stop to it. Because it just couldn't. But you'd be a nightmare customer for me. Like you'd just be like, you'd be the type of guy. No, you'd be the type of guy that would come in.
Do your job properly.
You come in with your ring binder, saying you don't know what you're looking for, and you'd have.
I wouldn't do that.
You'd have a file of facts researched.
What kind of cars? Do you know I bought a car in Ballymena and I brought it back?
No, you didn't.
I did.
See, I told you, it'd be a nightmare. He'd be a nightmare. You'd sell that.
I brought
you'd
a car.
You'd have the commission check.
The car was Protestant. Couldn't drive it. It was left-handed.
You'd have the commission.
Left-hand drive.
Left-hand. You ever drive a left-hand drive car?
Yeah, I can drive them. I've gone to Spain.
I've just back from Ibiza and I rented a wee Fiat Punto and my family are still alive. So,
but it's actually not that bad once you get the senses right and the.
I did drive down the wrong.
Was it automatic?
No, it was manual. So that was the first time I'd done automatic or manual. Sorry, so like having to change gears with my right hand was hard work.
God.
And then drive on that.
It's going into the roundabouts and stuff. Isn't
what unstuck me was my wife was meant to tell me to turn left. She didn't. I drove straight on. Luckily, I came to a cul-de-sac. So normally, like we will turn this way. will like do a roundabout that way. You have to do a roundabout that way.
Yeah.
So I naturally was on the right hand side of the road, but then went like that. I turned the other way and there was a scooter coming straight towards me.
Jesus.
And he was like, Andale. And I was like, oh shit, better move.
Yeah.
And I was fine.
I hired a car in Sardinia once when I was going out with, I used to go with this course of Spanish, right? And we hired a car, and you know the way when you go and you hire a car, they're like, oh, it's €75 for the day or something like that. And then they go, do you want to take out the insurance, which is like an extra insurance, which is, it covers your excess is say €500, but you can pay extra and your excess is zero.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything happens to the car, you don't pay anything.
Right.
So we're driving around Sardinia anyway, and I'm driving, and I'm getting a bit cocky now. You know, I've got like my Spanish girlfriend, I'm in Italy, I'm an Irish guy, I'm feeling very, very European day.
You're a different
European
person.
day, right?
You're buzzing.
You're making the most of the
I'm making the
Irish
most.
passport.
You're in character. You're very...
I'm having a very European day.
Yeah.
And I'm driving around anyway, and didn't I clip the wing mirror, right? And the wing mirror fell off, but it was still connected, but you know, there's like a wire in it.
Yeah,
It's kind of, it's just
it's
hanging
just
down.
hanging
So-
off.
So we're driving back to the car hire place, but you can hear the wing mirror like clapping against the thing. So my girlfriend at the time, she had to open the window and kind of like hold the wing mirror. So we pull back up anyway at the car hire place, and I go in. I was driving a Fiat 500 or something.
That's
one of
class
those cars, right?
standard Italian.
Yeah. And
car
I
they give
walk
you.
in and it was like, hello. And she's like, I said, hi, I just returned the car there. I said, yeah, come here, I need to show you something. And you could see her going, oh, Jesus. Right, she comes out and there's the wing mirror just hanging off. And she's like, what happened? And I went, I'd not.
You just blagged.
I just gave her the keys. I went, I've got the insurance anyway. And she was like, yes. And I went, see ya. And I walked away, and you could see her be like,
What the heck?
Because she now that car has to be taken off the road,
Oh,
has to go to a garage, has to be fixed. That's a car they cannot rent out until that wing mirror is fixed. Could take a week, could take 4 days, could take 2 days, could take 10 days. And I just went, there you go. Handed the keys and just walked off, and I went, oh, I felt bad. But then the girl I was dating was Spanish. They're very, I felt a bit guilty for what I was doing, but the Spanish, bit different, you know. She was like, well, you signed the forms, you're entitled to do this. If you wanted to crash it off a wall, you crash it off a wall.
Yeah, so that kind of protects your karma, you know, because that's the type of thing where I learned that.
I did feel a bit bad.
Yeah.
But I was also a bit like,
Oh, well.
what's wrong with me to do? I'm protected.
Fuck it.
It's the risk you take in life, isn't it?
Exactly.
When you finished the MMA, why did you finish? Because of the car working
Yeah,
in the garage?
just-
How long were you selling cars for? Because when
7
people think car salespeople, like, not going to lie, mate, but dodgy. You'll say anything to sell a car.
I've got a few stories.
Yeah. So, can I ask you about car sales?
Yeah.
I had an argument with a guy in the car sales once, right? Which
Right.
is thing is, so I was buying a car for cash. Now, when I
As
say
if that matters. Just let me stop you there.
it doesn't make any difference.
People like you say this as if it means something, right? So you would get people coming in, and I bet you a tenner, you walked in and was like, yeah, I want to see that there car there. And then they'd be like, that's my Andrew Ryan accent. And you'd be like, by the way, before we start,
Cash is actually worse,
it's
isn't
cash.
it? They want the finance.
Then why not?
Right, but listen to this. So I go in, I see this car, right? And I'm like haggling for a discount. He's like, no, he's not moving, right? And then I go, come on, man, you give me something off it. He's like, no. And he goes, I can't because I'm not getting the finance. And I went, that's none of my business. Well, you get the finance or not. I should not feel bad for you not getting car finance.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So they're getting a sale. So if you think about it, if I bring in a car and the car's worth $4,000, you're going to try and buy it off me for 2.5, 2.2, something like that, right? So you're going to make a bit of profit on that when you resell
Depends
it.
on the condition. If
Right.
the wing mirror's hanging off it, you know what
You're
I mean?
you're selling me an overpriced car. I know, yeah.
You're bringing back your Fiat 500
Yeah.
with the two wing mirrors hanging off and the back bumper scuffed.
You're
you know?
making money in 3 areas. That's what you're doing. Making money on buying my car, making money on selling your car, making money on you selling on the finance. Am I right?
Correct. Then you have to pay the salesman, you have to pay the staff, you have to pay the overhead, you have to pay the electricity, you have to pay.
What's the best way for me to go in and get a car and a salesperson how do I do it?
Bring me with you.
Right, give me an example.
Right.
Like, give me an example.
So you have came in and like you have to realise like it's a bit like dealing with a comedian in a slagging match. It's hard, you know, you're not going to win that contest if you try and outsmart a car salesperson unless they're really stupid, and there are some really stupid car salespeople out there, trust me. So like if you're going into a garage, you need to have like, it depends if you're buying a new car or a used car. That's what I would say, because new cars have loads of big, great finance offers. You can near enough spec the car yourself online, and you know the deal, and you can go in and get it, and you have in your head that that's the deal you want, and then you see what they want. So they might actually offer you a better deal than what's online because they maybe need that car away. they maybe need that car out of their stock. It's maybe been sitting. So like these cars aren't just sitting there all the time, especially if it's a main dealer. So they'll have cars that have a 90-day window. So that car can't be on the pitch for longer than 90 days.
What happens after 90 days?
It goes to auction. Or they spin it. It was called spinning. There's a whole language, by the way. So if I start talking in 3-letter abbreviations, please stop me and ask what that means.
Because I want to walk in and go, which car are you spinning?
So basically, if it's a used car, most big dealerships or franchises will have 90 days. So say there's a car in Ballymena that's been sitting there, not a tire kicked in it for 90 days. They'll spin it up the road to Mollusk, try and sell it there. If it's
so it's a Peugeot garage or an Audi garage.
So like say you've traded a Volkswagen into a Ford garage and nobody wants it, you could send it up the road to somewhere where there's maybe a Volkswagen dealership.
So if I walk into Audi tomorrow and I say, "Show me the cars being spun,"
like you can't come in as a punter and say that. Like that's just you're giving up the ghost. Then you need to be cuter than that.
Right? What do I do?
So you could just say things like, "I see that car there's been on Used Cars NI for 70 days." So things like that, that's public knowledge. You can go onto Used Cars NI, you can scroll down to any used car and you can see how many days it's been in stock. And you can see all the price changes too. So you can see, like, especially a private sale.
Gary, this is fucking so...
See, I should write a book. I should write a book on this.
What do you mean you can see the price changes on where?
On Used Cars NI.
It tells you.
It tells you. So if you go on Used Cars NI now, pull it up, any car you want, all right, pick it up, and if it's been...
Right, so let's give you an example. We find a car for 10 grand. That car says an Audi A3. Let's just pretend that, right? Mm-hmm. And that car's been on Used Car NI for 70 days. And it was at 12 grand. Then it went to 11.5 and 11. Now it's at 10. So this car is hemorrhaging
You're
cash.
Walking in there knowing they're selling you this car.
Because it's been around for 70 days. The price has been cut and they're desperate to get rid of it. So you have now more leverage.
You have huge leverage.
So give me an example. I walk in and I go, right, I've seen this car for this Audi. It was 12, it's now 10, and it's been on for 70 days. What happens then? What do I do then?
Well, you basically, first off, you need to see if you want it. So you take it a test drive and stuff like that there, make sure it's right. You don't just buy a car because it's a good deal, do you know what I mean? It's not like buying a
I would do.
toaster. Oh, yeah. I know you probably would, and people did do that, but you would just, you'd have it up your sleeve. You maybe wouldn't throw all the cards. I would just see what type of feedback I'd be getting. It's a bit like what you're doing in your stand-up when you're testing out the crowd. You know, where's the line? I've just act all coy. See, you've got that there. Focus there. Tell me about it.
Tell me about it. Oh, tell me about it. Oh, so
he'll start selling to you then. So therefore, he's getting into his selling mode or she's getting into her selling mode. And you're just sitting there going, yeah, all right. I know all that. I know it's got aircon. I know it's got Bluetooth.
I know it's got wheels.
I know it's got a scuff in the back bumper. I'm going to chin you for later.
I've done the research.
I've seen the doors.
But you don't give up all that. You don't go in and go, I know everything about this car and I know it's reduced down to the tits, but will you give me another 500 quid off it? You see what they give you. It's like poker, man. You ever play poker?
So I go in and go, tell me about this Audi. And they go, oh, it's a great car, blah, blah. I go, listen, I know this car's been on for 70 days. And I know it's gone from 12 to 10. If you give it to me for 9.5, I'm happy with it after the test drive. I'll walk out of here with
Never give them the price first.
Oh, fuck.
See, you're a schoolboy, man.
Right, tell me what else to do.
Whoever says...
Do I threaten them?
Whoever says the first price loses.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Repeat this again. So whoever says the first price loses. Okay,
Correct.
so give me an example of why not and why not.
Right. So if say, it's another example of that. So first off, if you go in and you say, I'll take that car for 9.5 grand, he might have gave you it for 9.2, but you'll never get 9.2.
Right. So how do I do this?
Right. Well, you have to go and say, look, you have to express obviously an interest in it, and then you could just go up and hit him between the eyes and go, look, want that car? What's your best?
What's your best?
What's your best? Go and speak to the manager, or just go balls in. I want to speak to the manager.
Hi, I want to speak to the manager.
You could get some, low-level trainee sales executive who's wet behind the ears and doesn't know what they're talking about. They don't know the spec of the car. They're just going and asking somebody else how to do the process.
You're the salesman,
yeah,
and I'm the car park.
You want to role play it?
Let's do a role play.
Right.
Sean, you can find out you tell us who's doing better at this, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
We're pretending there's an Audi. I've test driven it. It was 12. It's now 10.
So we've done meet and greet, done test
right,
driving.
It's now been on 7 days. I go, Gary, really enjoyed driving that. I go, Gary, just test drove the Audi. Mm-hmm. Now listen, I see that that car's been on sale for a while here, and I know you've dropped the price and stuff like that. Like, what's the best you can do for me on that car?
Well, look, Andrew, really appreciate that. Really happy you enjoy the car as well. Firstly, just before we start negotiating, have you got a car to trade in?
No, I don't. I'm actually, I don't have a car to trade in. I'm just coming in here off the street. I've got my license.
Well, no, that we just took a test drive. I had to see it.
Okay, yeah, cool, yeah.
I photocopied it. I've got it in my file.
All right, mate.
I know where you live.
Let's not split hairs.
That's all right. So what's the bottom line here? What are we doing business?
I'd love to do business today, yeah, because I need a car and I like that car. But I need to know what you can do for me.
Well, let me ask you this first before I go and speak to my manager. If I can get the price right for this car today, Andrew, can we do business?
I think we can if we can get the price right, yeah.
Good man, good to hear that.
But I need to know what your best offer is.
Well, look.
So if you go speak to your manager now, you come back with what the best offer you can do for me this car, and then we'll talk then.
It's in the window.
Because it says 10 grand on the thing.
Well, it's in your justice. I told you in the test drive.
I know.
We had it on at 12, Andrew.
I'm speaking. I know that you want to get rid of this car. This car has been here for 70 days. This is a very lonely car.
How do you know it's been here 70 days?
It's like a dog needs to be rehomed because it's on used cars NI.
Right.
And you've reduced the price from 12,000 to 10,000. So to me, the value of the car was overhyped anyway. So I still think 10,000 that's on the window now, you said, I actually think that is still too high. So what I want you to do now, because I'm here to do business and I want to do business with you and I can see you want to do business with me.
I do. I like it. You're a good guy.
Yeah, I'm not a good guy.
I like the
Speak to my ex-wife. Speak to my ex-wife. I'm giving her 400 a month and she doesn't even let me see the kids.
Tell me about it, Paul.
Now listen to me. You go and speak to the manager.
Who did you use? What was your solicitor?
What was my solicitor? Right. It was my fucking brother-in-law.
John?
And he was robbing me.
John?
No.
Brilliant guy.
Michael.
Love him.
No, John's in prison.
Oh,
Michael.
Oh, sorry. Michael's brilliant guy.
Listen to me. Michael's not a brilliant guy.
No, he's a brilliant guy.
He's a dick. He's a complete dick. Through chemo.
He's a complete dick.
Yeah, he's a complete dick. Yeah.
I hate him.
Now listen, can we get back to the primary purpose as to why we're here?
That's another thing. You just agree with everything they say.
Go over to your manager.
Yeah.
Tell him you've got a guy here that wants to do business, but you have to come to me with an offer that makes me want to leave here with a car.
Well, that's brilliant, Andrew. But the way that buying something works is that the buyer has to make the seller an offer. That's the way it works at an auction, Andrew. So if you tell me what you want to buy the car. Tell you what, write it down there. Write it down there.
There you go. Write it down.
What you want to buy? Give me it.
$5,000.
Give me it over. You want it?
I can do that. I can do $5,000.
Thanks. There's the door, mate. You've just insulted me.
I've just insulted you.
You've just insulted
me. Mate, just because you've done a bit of MMA.
Well, that wasn't a pre-context of this scenario.
$5,000. Well, work with me then. You work with me. You
I'll
tell
work with
me.
you.
You tell me. You saying I've insulted you? Will you tell me what? Give me a figure that doesn't insult you.
It's in the window, mate.
That's not a figure. That figure insults me.
Why? You wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for that price, Andrew.
No, I wasn't here for the price. I was here for the car.
Well, now you're here for me, aren't you? Because you like me. I'm a good lad. I know you told me that in the test drive.
Yeah, you are a good lad. So
and I like
can't
you.
Good lads do
and
good
we'll
things?
play that round with Clandy Boy, won't we?
If
we do business.
Why can't good lads do good things?
Well, I'll tell you what, saying I like you, Andrew, okay? The car's sitting there at 10 grand,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
If I could do the car at 10 grand, including the mud flaps and maps that you want.
But they're already included.
No, you want? No, they're not on that car. I need to put them on it, and the area in stores charges me 200 quid for them. So like, I'm looking after you.
Prove that.
I'll show you an invoice.
Show me an
I'll show you an invoice.
Right.
No problem at all. I'll show you after coffee. After
we need to move this forward.
Yeah,
I want a car.
I told you he's hard work. I did it. Anyone else, I would have had this deal closed in a minute. Right. You know.
What's the best price you can do for me?
I'll do you the car for 10 grand in the window, and I'll throw in your mats and flaps, and I'll throw in that there Diamond Bright paint protection that you wanted. Remember you said you're sick of washing your car every Sunday? With this stuff, you just throw a hose over it.
Sure, I don't have a car.
No, you do.
I just told you earlier I didn't have a car.
So you drove.
So why would I be washing a car every Sunday? You're not listening.
I seen you drive.
You're not listening.
I seen you drive here.
I got a lift. It was an Uber.
They don't have Uber in Ballymena, mate.
They do. They do now.
Look, I
Listen,
smell a rat.
How
look,
about
you
this?
want to do it?
Gary,
hit me with an offer.
Look at me, Gary. 9,250 plus all the flaps and the paint protection. I walk out of here with a car. That car's off the forecourt, 70 days. Your boss is going to be happy because you've got rid of a problem. I can remove that problem from your forecourt.
Yeah.
Right. That car's been spun. It's been spinned around. Go from garage to garage to garage to get rid of it. And today's your lucky day because I've walked in here. So
9250 is where you're at.
9250 is my max. I actually physically don't have access to more money.
Well, I can lend you that. We have a bank.
I don't have. No, I'm not lending. I don't borrow any money.
Very few interest.
I've got 9,250. I'll show you on my app. I've got 9,250. Don't put your finger at me. So I'll show you in the app. I've got 9,250.
Pay it back in 30 days, no interest.
No, I'm not. I don't pay anything back. I pay up front for it.
No, but that's what I'm saying to you.
No, but I don't do. This is the way I work. 9,250 plus the flaps and the paint. I walk out of here and I've taken a problem off your hands, and I'm very sorry now, Gary.
Look, I have. Hold
to
on. Sorry, somebody's wanting to come and see this car this
bullshit,
afternoon.
mate.
Somebody's wanting to come.
Bullshit.
There's just a
bullshit. Do you know who that person is? That's my missus. Told her to
I'll
tap
sell
you
her
up.
it for 97.50.
No, because you're going to... No, 9,250.
97.50, I'll sell her it.
9,250.
Just to annoy you.
9,250. I'm happy with 9,250. I can see you're happy with 9,250. I've solved the problem for you. And listen, when I come back to change it, I'll give you my word, I'll come back to
I
you.
spoke to my manager just now, and he's saying 97.50 is the most he can go.
Well, I'm very sorry, but I'm going to walk out of here without a car. Listen, all the very best. You take care of yourself. Say hello to the family. Have a great Christmas if I don't see you.
Thanks very much for not giving me your business.
Bye-bye.
See,
Unfortunately, today we couldn't get a deal. We couldn't get a deal through basically a car dealership. Would you actually tell people to leave over that now?
No, you wouldn't do that.
So how did you think I was there now? I know I was a bit performancy, but like how overall, like
no, you would get customers like that. You would. Get
Would you?
customers,
How would you deal with someone like
and
that?
you would let them walk if there was a line. So, like, say that was an example of a car that was like.
How do you know what the line? What's the line? Do you know what the line is before you sell?
Yeah,
if that car is 10, you know that car is really 9.6. Like,
well,
what's the line?
But the car could be losing money at 10 grand. It could be costing you 10.5, but you'll get rid of it at 10 just to get rid of it. So you can't it's literally a car at that price in that scenario. It's reduced to sell. It's somebody's buying that car at that price, or it's going to auction.
Even right,
You'll just not take that big a loss on it.
right. So what if you sell a 10 grand car? What do you pocket?
Me as a salesperson,
Yeah, without any finance,
you'll get a minimum commission.
which is
Depends on the car dealership, but say for example, you'll get 50 quid for selling the car. You'll then maybe get, if you sell what you call VAPs, which is value added products, so that's your paint protection, your gap insurance, your alloy wheel, your tire, your cosmetic. You can protect the whole car. You could make maybe another 30 quid a pop at them. The finance too, you could make 30, 40 quid at the finance.
right, so you sell one car and you sell all of those things. Potentially, you're only making 120 quid.
No, you could make on a good car. No, that's only if you sell it with no profit. If you sell a car that's got 2 grand of profit and you're getting 15% of that profit as well as your VAPs, you could make 300 quid in one sale.
Plus your standard basic wage.
Yeah. But
So if you sell 2 cars a week, that's say 600 quid. I have an example. 6, 12, 18. That's 2.5 grand plus your wage.
Yeah.
You're doing all right.
I used to sell 20, 25 cars a month. Easy.
Was it easy?
Well, once you get established, it's easy, yeah. Because customers trust you. So you don't have wankers like this coming in and...
I'm not a wanker, mate.
You know what I mean?
Not a wanker. Don't call me wanker.
No, we'll call you that in the staff room after you leave.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you slag them all off?
Man, you would just be like, oh, fuck, not him again, you know? You would just see them coming in, and you would see some salespeople just hiding beneath their desk going, not today, not me. Because you would get the people like that would just never buy. They come in loads and threaten to buy and get to the negotiate table, and you knew just they were never...
Why?
You ever done that?
No,
If you ever into a shop and have no intention of buying, and you just keep doing it to people.
I did make a complaint about a Volkswagen car salesman when I asked him what the APR was on the finance, and he told me what the AER. Do you have an
Oh no, I should have told you. That's when it gets
the
to
thing
finance,
over, and it was like 6.7, and like the APR then was like 14%. It's like double whatever it is. And I said, that's the AER. What's the APR? And he went, you don't need to worry about the APR, Andrew. You need to worry that the monthly payments suit your budget. And I went, no.
I know that's smoke and mirrors, and that's where you need to be. Like, you're FCA regulated, and also you have to be straight up and down the line.
That's brilliant that you did the cars.
I did the business. I was the business manager as well, and then sales manager. So the business manager's job is the finance. So like once you sell the car, so say we had done a deal and you were taking finance, be like, thanks very much for your business, Andrew. I'm just going to hand you over to Gary here, who'll sort out the paperwork in your finance contract. So you'd go over, do the finance proposal, give your bank details and all their shit, and then they tell you if you passed or didn't
do
pass.
Do credit reference check and all.
Credit reference check and all there. But some of the value added product stories are brilliant. Like, they used to do one called, you talk about hitting the car in the wing mirror and having the insurance on it. There used to be a policy called cosmetic insurance. And the clue's in the name, right? Cosmetic. So I remember one of my members who was actually one of the managers, who I'll not name, but there was this old lady, and she was insistent that her car had reversing sensors on it. Insistent. She was like, I'm not buying this car because it doesn't have reversing sensors on it. And he needed that car sold. So he was like, look, you have 2 choices here. You can put like what we called aftermarket, they're aftermarket sensors. So there's sensors that come from the factory already on it, and it comes up on the dash and all, or you can get them, put in, after. But he was like, I need this car sold on the way today, so I don't have time for that shit. So he said, look, I tell you what, I've something even better for you. You don't need reversing sensors. You need cosmetic insurance. So if you scuff that car, if you reverse it back and head it off the curb or another car, you come back up to 18 times a year, we'll fix the car. We'll respray it, give it a smart repair, be brand new. She's like, that's absolutely brilliant. I'll definitely take that. So she came back 6 months later, 2 doors hanging off the thing. The whole car scraped completely to use. Like, I mean that she had just took the side off a lorry. Like, she came back, she goes, yeah, I'm just here to see about getting a claim on my cosmetic insurance. And he had to go out and like take videos of the car and all, and I'd pretend he was doing it. He's like, yeah, I'll just submit that claim there for you, and they'll be in touch with you.
And did she get it done?
Did she fuck?
Oh,
the
so
thing needed 2 new doors.
We're talking about like a little gash here.
It was up to 30 centimetres. So you used to have a magnetic ruler, which used to be your selling tool. So you used to slap the magnetic ruler in the car. It was all very... So anything up to this 30 centimetre circumference, anything within that, they'll come out to your house and they'll fix it on site for you. No problem at all, madam.
Oh, how was her reaction? Did she? You don't know because the insurance company deal with her then.
The insurance company dealt with her. He actually ended up having to like process her insurance claim and all because it had to go through a proper insurance because the lady was in her like 70s, so she didn't have a clue, and it was like you become sort of a bit of a pseudo family member then because their problems become your problems. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But stuff like that was hilarious.
It's an interesting world.
It is, and like we went through Scrap. Do you remember Scrappage? Do you remember? Were you up here when that was on?
What was that? When you give them
you could bring in a complete banger, and they would give you like up to $5,000 for it. So you could trade in like your Nissan Micra 2001 with every hubcap fallen off it, and like say you were buying a new Ford Focus, they would literally give you or show you like $5,000 for it, depending on what the customer saving was. So we used to have like scrap cars up the side with like big offers on it. Scrappage, we could give you up to $5,000 for this car. I got a local skip company to park a skip at the side of the road because we were past a dual carriageway, and they dumped the Ford Fiesta into it that was like all battered up. And it was like people were like, "What the fuck, $5,000 for that there?" And it just got people in. And we ended up, there was an Audi that it was literally going to get picked up. So they would just get picked up and they would literally go and get crushed. So they were literally just being scrapped. And there was an old Audi A3, I remember, a yellow one, and we had like deckled like big red writing up, Scrappage, get up to $5,000 for this car. And there's a video of me where I'm jumping up and down the roof of it, and we're like battering it and all because it's just about to go having a bit of fun. And I go to walk off of it. I'm like, how do I get down off this thing? So I walk down the windscreen, slipped, and my fucking arse goes completely through the windscreen. And the bang is unbelievable. I'm pretty sure I broke my tailbone, and there's just a big fucking arse print in the middle of the windscreen, the big crack went right through.
Was it bad?
I came off it and was like, one of my friends was videoing it, and I was like, please don't show that to HR because I'm going to get in so much trouble here. Like, but I don't.
And why did you leave that job?
I left it during COVID to be a comedian.
Wow.
No, I'm joking. I left it in March. Yeah, I left it in March 2020 because I started to stand up about a year or 6 months, and I was like, I think I enjoy doing this, and if I ever want to have kids, I don't want to work these hours because you were working like 2 late nights a week every Saturday, or else every third. You know, you're working 3 out of 4 Saturdays. This was like 60 odd hours a week. It was a long slog, and it was like, if I ever have kids, I'm never doing this. And then the comedy was kicking off, and I was like, look, I'm going to try something here. Yeah. I'm going to try and do the comedy, and here we are. So, well,
the comedy is well and truly kicking off. Gary Pollock runs Kiwis Comedy Clubs and also down in Bangor, the Grand Social, which has done a great show. I'm actually doing 4 shows on my tour as well down in those venues. Please do go and check them out as well. It's very important that you support comedy in the regions outside of Belfast and stuff. What's the socials for Kiwis?
At Kiwis Comedy Club on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and then Bangor is Clean Affronted Comedy. On Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, that room's going well. All your shows are sold out, which is brilliant. Classic. So we'll maybe try and get a few more seats into Bangor or put some more dates on if the demand's there. But
you tell me. I think I can do a third.
Yeah, he's at me. He goes, I want to do 4 at each. I'm like, all right, mate, settle down here. And we met at the venue, and I was like, you should be my fucking tour manager, you know, because it's like, but it's good going good because at the end of the day, like, you're wanting to put a show on and put your tour on, and you want to do it in rooms that you enjoy, and we've worked together, gig together.
And I've said it to you, Gary, like, you know what you're doing. The key thing is that when an act turns up, if you're there or you're not there, you have somebody there, the room's set up right, the mics are right, the lighting's right, you know, you get us. You just do it right, and then what happens? Then it benefits everybody. And like I'm doing 4 with you. Hopefully, I'll probably do 5 or 6 with you, because you're dead easy to work with. You're a very good comic, and you're doing really good things for the comedy scene. So we want people to really go out and check out, especially in the summer. If you're up in Portrush or you're in a caravan, check out Kiwis. Follow them. They might have a show on when you're on a holiday up in the caravan. So please do check it out, and also down in Bangor as well. Excellent stuff. Gary Pollock, thank you for coming into Cork in the North.
No problem. Thank you.
Good to see you. We'll get you in again soon.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.